Welcome back, Chapter 3. Just putting my Bluetooth thing away. So I thought I'd talk today about guitar construction, and I'm not going to get into a lot of details about it in terms of everything that goes on with a guitar, but I think there's some things that can help you to do your best with it and understand, because it does help to understand your instrument. So essentially, what I have here is a Taylor Leo Kottke version 12-string that I bought 28 years ago. It was a gift to myself on my 50th birthday. Still only worth about what I paid for it then, but it says something about the person who sold it to me, who also sort of questioned my playing ability. I guess he wasn't in a hurry to make a sale. But anyway, I got it, and I'm so pleased I did. It sounds amazing. And it holds a tune. Very nice instrument. So, but the main thing is, with any acoustic guitar, it's basically a box. So what you have is something with sides on it holding things in place. And if you looked in here, first of all, the top is almost always made of spruce, because spruce resonates when sound comes out of this guitar. So you can see other guitars that have other woods, and that's fine. Hopefully what they've done is they've engineered that so the sound can be maximized coming out of the sound hole. A lot of guitars now come with electronics already in them. That's really helpful. So this one I had to have retrofitted with a place to plug into, and I have to change the battery from time to time, which means I have to reach in here. It's a bit of a process, but batteries last a long, long time. So essentially here you have a box. Now, the first true electric guitar made by Les Paul was actually mounted on a 4x4. And he affixed the components to it, and then later on added the shape, the box shape around it. Just made it easier to hold. But for an acoustic guitar, the body is really important. How the sound comes out is really important. There are different sizes of guitars. They're what I call the dreadnoughts, offer a lot of what I call boom, or a lot of sound coming out of them, especially at the lower frequencies. And that's nice. If that's what you want, that's great. A guitar doesn't have to be full-sized to sound good. There are some 3/4 that are made that sound really good. Also easy to take on a plane if you want to carry your guitar with you, which I would recommend for all the reasons that people have seen where things aren't treated especially well when they're carried onto a plane. So anyway, and of course the box is connected to a neck, which then is, the neck is either connected to, or the headstock is part of the neck. So sometimes it's one solid piece of wood that they've cut and done that with. For this one, they've done that, but they've also laminated 2 pieces on here to dress out the shape of the headstock. All very fancy stuff. It's just when you look at it, everything is so similar. Box, neck, headstock. And of course, these are tuning pegs. And that constitutes the essence of an acoustic guitar. So then it comes down to, again, what kind of action do you want? And what kind of sound do you want? If you think you're coming up short, don't worry about it. Again, you'll have a chance to get a guitar that suits your needs. So that's the essence of an acoustic guitar. There are all kinds of things going on in here as far as the work that it takes to attach the soundboard to the guitar. There are plenty of videos for that. If you're really interested, you can watch them. They're fascinating. Things that you don't see, like all the bracing that goes on to help hold this in place and yet let that board resonate. I had to have mine repaired, and the woman who did it did a fantastic job. and brought it back to life. I appreciate that. So that's an acoustic guitar. And back here, of course, I have the electric that I have with me. And the thing about electric guitars is that basically, again, it's the body, neck, headstock. So, but because the sound is all coming from the pickups on the guitar, it doesn't have to have a hollow body. There are some that do, and that's because they're using the resonance of the hollow body to flesh out the sound on the guitar. The Fender Acoustotonic is an example of that. I don't have one of those, but many people do. They're a really nice guitar. But in any case, what that does is you can, essentially, you see that the shape is still like that of an acoustic guitar, but they can really play with it and give you all kinds of things with regard to how they sound, the different sounds that are available, the different shapes that are available. So if you want to make a statement, you can buy a guitar that has a shape that lets you make a statement. And of course, they can be very loud, or they can be whatever you want. Some of them have a very lovely tone. There are some great jazz musicians who they use electric guitars, and they have a sweet, sweet sound. Of course, I have a capo on this one, which you'll be familiar with as you go along in what you learn with the guitar. Taking those lessons, I suggested. And back here, just lost my little foam pad. Back here, this is a version of an electric guitar that has been coming out recently. This is a carbon fiber guitar. It's made by Lava. It's called a Lava Pro. Lava makes lots of different guitars, and this is the biggest one, I believe, that they make. It doesn't have, other guitars have a thing on here that is essentially like a cell phone, where you can tune the guitar, you can give it different, you can loop, you can do all kinds of things. You can take lessons from the guitar. I had one of those, and I just found it was sort of like, it wasn't that it was complicated, it was just more than I was looking for. The sound was okay, but I traded in for this. I'm glad I did. This has great sound when it's plugged in. So that's just another version, but it's carbon fiber, and you can see that it is complete in terms of the manufacturer. There's no connected neck through screws or fastener, and that's what this usually has, an acoustic guitar usually has, is a rod, what's called a truss rod, that goes throughout the guitar down from here down to here, and you can tighten that or loosen that. Usually there's a little tab here that you can take off, and you can tighten it or loosen it with a socket screw or a special tool that some places offer. Taylor offers a special tool for tightening and loosening the truss rod. If your action is difficult, then you can tighten it. You can get to a point where the strings get so close to the frets that they start to buzz. You don't want that. And you can also loosen it to the point where the guitar becomes unplayable. So there's a sweet spot there. There are places that'll do that for you, and that's great. But the thing is, to my mind, what I like is that I own my guitar. So I'll take my chances. I think I've adjusted the truss rod on this guitar probably 7 or 8 times. And each time it has helped to bring it back to having the playing ability that I need in terms of the level of pressure that I use. Pressure is another thing. Pressure is different from guitar to guitar, and it's not just the action. Like electric guitars take a lot less pressure to play, and that's an adjustment, because it's taken me a while to not sort of grab my electric guitar in a vice-like grip thing is, when you do that, you can actually hear the string tone moving up and down as your fingers push down and lift up, push down, lift up. It's a different feeling, but like anything else, you can get used to it. So, and the more practice, the more practice you do in terms of knowing your instrument, the more it'll pay off for you. So that's it for today. I'm going to keep it at that. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'll look forward to seeing your comments, reading your comments, and we'll move on from there.